God damn, I'm getting old. You can tell. I don't have to tell you that. I like wearing these on account of it hides all my white hair and everything like that. I don't want to get my hair colored no more, you know? I don't want anybody painting my hair black. On account, I don't want to die and then be surprised. You know what I mean? Go, God damn, I look good. And then God goes, well, I made your hair white. What do you think that was all about? I was telling you to get your affairs in order, for God's sake. But anyway, I'll tell you how you know you're growing old is when you start checking your left arm status. You go, God damn, my left arm feels a little odd. That's all I know about medicine. If your left arm feels odd, you will either have an impending heart attack or nothing at all will happen. And I like doctors. I like specialists, though, you know? Like, let's say, this is what I don't understand. Your foot hurts. So you want to go to the foot doctor. You phone the foot doctor. He goes, yeah, you can't come. You got to go to a regular doctor. So then you go to the regular doctor, and he goes, oh, yeah, you got to go to a foot doctor. Yeah, just pay Agnes $80 on the way out. What is that scam, you know? You go, all right. He goes, while you're here, you want me to take your blood pressure? I'm like, no, that's fine. I've had my blood pressure taken about 5,000 times. Don't even know what it means. You know, they go, it's 150 over 60. I go, is that good? They go, I don't know. It's all a blur. I'm a doctor. I'm going to be hitting your knee with a hammer now. That's the oddest one to me of all time. We haven't got past that. That's like a cartoon from the 1950s. Guy pulls out a hammer, hits your knee with it, and then you go, my knee! Oh, my God, that hurts. And then the guy writes down, excellent. Very good. It's exactly how you should react when your knee is struck by a hammer. Sometimes doctors just know smart words. You ever see those guys, you know? Like one time I remember I was real tired. I had this thing. I didn't know what it was. So I went in and I said, hey, doc, I got this thing, man. I'm real tired. He goes, sounds like chronic fatigue syndrome to me. I said, really? What's that? He says, well, chronic means always. And fatigue means tired. And syndrome, that means something you got. Anyway, you can pay Agnes $80 on the way out. Who knows what these doctors mean with their medical gobbledygook. A guy told me yesterday, the doc, he said, I'm now more virus than host. What does that even mean? Who knows? Here's the problem. You go to doctors too much. They start thinking you're a hypochondriac, and then they don't take anything seriously, you know? And word gets around with these guys, you know? The small community, the doctor community, and I made the mistake of one time, I had a pap smear. I smeared my pap, you know, and it turned out good. But then word got out that I was a hypochondriac. But I'm not a hypochondriac. I only think I am. My friend who does have a medical issue that's terrible, he's 586 pounds. And not a lie. And now I've been blessed to have the same friends since I was in grade 4. Billy, Jimmy, Ricky, me. Now, we all went our different paths, but Jimmy became fat, then he became really fat, then he became obese, then he became morbidly obese, and now 586 pounds. It's incredible. Well, he's one of those guys that can't get out of his house and stuff. But he's finally decided to change, thank God, and so he's got a psychiatrist in there. We got him a dietitian. People are around the clock. One of the three of us go and visit him and keep his spirits up. And it's great. But he said something that struck me odd the other day, last time I saw him, which was about 6 months ago, the other day. But he said to me, he said, Norm, you wouldn't believe it, you know. But at one point in my life, I weighed 135 pounds. And I said, oh, no, I believe that. I think you weighed every weight up to 586 pounds. I don't think you just showed up looking like that. My other friend was mentally retarded. Now, I know you're not supposed to say that anymore, but that's what we said then, and I understand that term. It means that you're arrested. Your mental capacity has been retarded or arrested. So, anyways, I'll say Down syndrome. I don't care. I didn't say it for a long time on account of I thought people would think I was a doctor. And I'd have to hit their knee with a hammer or something. I don't know. But anyways, I love my best friend had Down syndrome. I love people with Down syndrome. I wish I had Down syndrome. And I'll tell you why. Because they're happy. You know what I mean? They're happy. What's wrong with that? Man, I wish I was happy. I was happy when I was with my friend. I'll tell you that. I would love to have a friend right now. Because how often are you happy? You ever be happy? It happens once in a while, With me, it's usually when I wake up. I wake up, I go, goddamn. I'm glad I bought that Tempur-Pedic pillow. That was the best purchase I ever made. But then the light comes under the door and bathes over you, and then your life comes in and gets all over you like a cobweb. You're like, God damn, huh? That's not fun. But you ever go into the mirror and look at yourself? I'm not talking about physically, but just eye to eye. And you go, oh, good God, what's become of me? I'm going to go back to bed and cover myself up. That's when I would like to have a mentally retarded friend next to me, a guy with Down syndrome, to go, I like bananas. I go, God damn, I never looked at it that way. I like bananas too. You go, they're yellow. I go, God damn, you're right, they are yellow. Ha! What say you and me go buy a yellow banana? See, people get mad at me, and yet, they pity them. I envy people with Down syndrome, and they pity them. Now, who's the bad person in that scenario? I tell you right now, man, if there was some sort of injection where I could be Down syndrome, I'd take it because I'd love to be happy all the time, And some people go, oh, they're mentally retarded people aren't always happy. I go, well, I never seen, like you ever see a cynical Down syndrome guy, You ever see a guy go, fuck bananas, they're yellow, I don't care. Who cares? I never seen it. But happiness, the thing we strive the most, people pity these people that have it, But they'll look over a group of people with Down syndrome and go, oh, man, look, breaks my heart when I see them. You know why? They're happy, right? It's on account of they don't understand life's horrors. Makes me sad. Makes me shake my head, sadly, like this here. And you know the saddest part of all? There's no cure. They'll probably die happy. You guys are all doing well. I'm glad I got my wife, Ruth. She's all right, She watched a lot of TV. She got her guilty pleasures, and her guilty pleasure is watching Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if you've ever seen that. My guilty pleasure is finding elderly gentlemen and shooting them in the leg. That's just a joke. That is a joke. I felt it was time I tell a joke, and I think it may be in my contract. Anyways, my wife, man, she ain't the brightest girl, Ruth. We have what's called a hall pass. You know what that is? A hall pass? That means you're allowed to have sex with any two people that you would like to have sex with, because they're special. So I chose, and the other partner has to agree to it. So I chose on my hall pass Angelina Jolie and Christy Brinkley. And Ruth, my wife, she's so stupid that you know who she chose? The Mexican guy that mows my lawn and his brother. Of all the people in the world. All the people in the world. But I love women, I consider women to be superior to men, and I'll tell you why. They create life. Think about that. You know what I mean? What do men do? Maybe they eat sour cream and onion chips or something. Women create life, for God's sakes. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? If I was a woman, that's all I do, just create life. You know, I go to parties and go, hey, Fred, what do you do? I can't remember. And Fred would go, I'll tell you what I do, Loretta. That's my name in the story. He'd go, I tell you what I do, Loretta. I think you know I work down at the bank for Mr. Abernathy. And what my main job is, Abernathy will give me a stack of papers about this big. And by the end of the day, if I get them down about this big, well, that's a good, I go, wait a second there. I'm sorry. I got to stop you there. You know, remember I was telling you how I create life, human life, the highest form of life? I just got to tell you this. That life just kicked me. Can you possibly wrap your head around that? And they'll go, look, Abernathy's never given me the corner office like he promised. And there was plenty of lunches where he brought it up. But then Henderson showed up. And that all changed. Who am I kidding? I should just quit. Anyways, what have we learned from this little fable?